Hey y'all, it is time for another TBR. I upload a video twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays where we talk all about books. Join me on those days at 7 p.m. and let's just talk about books. Let's talk about the books that we've read. Let's talk about the books that we want to read. Let's give some ratings and some comments on how we feel about these books, because just like me, I know y'all love books just as much as I do. Let's get into this video. So today I am going to let you guys see my TBR for February for the love month, and I just actually thought about that, and I have some love stories in my TBR for February, but they're not all love stories. Some of them will be from the TBR list that I had in January that I did not get to. So we'll just float them over into February so that I can make sure that I get through these books that I want to read. So I just want to give you a little update on the books that I read in January and just let you guys know how I actually felt about these books. So the first one that I finished off of my TBR in January was Once Upon a December, and it was a Christmas book by Amy Reddick. Very nice love romance book. It was very Christmassy. I would give it a, what did I give it on Goodreads, y'all? Because it is on my Goodreads and because I finished it. So let's look together and see what I did give it on my Goodreads. I gave it a 3-star on my Goodreads. I am a lover of romance, as you guys already know. That's one of my favorite genres, but I don't really actually have one at the moment because I'm just really enjoying reading books. But I gave it a 3-star, and I said this was a great Christmas fluffy read for me. I enjoyed the friendship, holiday vibe, and love that was within this book. So I actually gave it a 3.5. So I really did love the relationship that Astra, I think I'm saying that name right, had with her friends, and the relationship that she actually kept a bay with her ex-husband, and the relationship that she had with Jack. I was just so excited that she actually got a chance to get what she wanted out of life, and it all came together for her at the end. So if you like a light fluffy read, Once Upon a December would be a great book to read. And y'all, I really enjoyed reading this book. It's by Renee Watson, Love is a Revolution. This also for me was a light fluffy read, but it was also by a black author, and it was about black kids that was trying to make a difference in the world. And it was about this one specific girl, what was her name? Oh, I can read back. Nyla. It was about this one specific girl, Nyla, and she just wanted to be herself. Like, she had a hard time as far as trying to grow up with her family situation, and she went to stay with one of her sister friends, cousins as she called them, her Amani. And that is where she met a guy named Ty, and she really liked this guy, but the only thing was that it was kind of like they were in separate realms. And what I mean by that, y'all, is like he was like a part of a group that did a lot of things in the community, and you know, they didn't like doing a lot of certain things because of the type of group that they were in and the image that they were trying to uphold for the community, but she just wanted to be herself, but she also wanted to be with Ty because she really liked him. So in the very beginning, she decided to be something that she actually was not, and then toward the middle and end of the book, she actually decided to be herself, and then, you know, everything else happened between her and Ty, as you will see when you read this book. But it was a very light, fluffy read. I really enjoyed that it was about black teenagers that was trying to make a difference in life, and black teenagers that was trying to find themselves in life. And Nyla, she just really caught my attention because she was trying to be something that she wasn't, and then she noticed that it just wasn't working for her, and she just wanted to be herself. So she ended up coming clean to everyone, and once you read the book, you will see how those people reacted to her being herself. So I really did enjoy reading Love is a Revolution. And let's see what I gave this book. I gave this one a 3-star. The next book that I finished reading in January that was not on my TBR. That was not on my TBR. And y'all, it happens. It happens. I tried my best to stay away from this book, but when I actually received it in the mail and looked at it and constantly heard people on YouTube and Instagram rant and rave about this book, I just had to read this book. So it is Only by the Week by Natasha Bishop. This book was a 10 out of 10 stars for me. I loved the way Janelle and Rome came together as a couple during this book. I love the relationship that they had when they were actually having their little whatever they call it, that they really thought nobody else did not know about. Janelle, she kind of reminded me of myself as far as, you know, try to please people. I'm not a people pleaser, but like what I mean is like she just tried to make people happy. She tried to make people happy, and she takes a load on her shoulders just so that other people won't take a load on her shoulders. But I just really love the way she always kept her head up high. She always kept herself looking nice and neat, and she was just the person that she was. And with being the person that she was, it really sparked a lot of things in other people about her. And then toward the end of the book, that's when it really starts to get good. Y'all need to read it because Janelle really came out of her shell, and I just really loved this book. This book will always stay on my shelf. This book will never go to a little library, and y'all, I don't even know if I'll let anybody borrow this book. I'll be like, y'all, please just get your own book. But I really did enjoy reading that book, and like I said, I give that book a 10 out of 5 stars because that book deserved more than a 5-star rating. So please, y'all, get Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop, and once y'all read those books, read that book. Let me know how y'all feel about that book because I'm so interested to know how y'all feel about Only for the Week. And for me, Only for the Week is like Shaughnessy was saying, Into the Dark was for her when she read it by Jessa Hastings. Like, she just can't find a book that compares yet, and that is how it is for me. Once I read Only for the Week, it's like, dang, am I gonna find a book that I am really gonna enjoy like I enjoy Only for the Week? So those were the 3 books that I did finish in January, and I am really proud of myself, y'all, because I finished 3 books in a month, and that is so awesome for me. The one that I'm still trying to finish, and I believe I'll finish that one up today, is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am really down to the meat and gravy of that book, I think, because it's really becoming interesting to me. And I'll let you guys know how I feel about that book once I am done. So let's get into my TBR for February. And the first book that I want to share with you guys is a library book, and it's called Like a Love Story. I'm not sure how to say the author's name, so I'm gonna just show you guys the author of the book. And again, like I said, it's a library book, y'all, and just look how good shape like this book is in. So y'all hit up the libraries, because they actually have very nice books that's in very nice shape, and it's free. Like, you can walk out of there with a free book. You can renew it as much as you want to renew it, and you can kind of like read the up-to-date books that they actually have like in the bookstore. And I'll show you one in just a few minutes, but y'all don't sleep on the library. But this is a queer literary read, and it has some romance to my understanding. I have started reading it, but it's pretty much a love story about 3 teens that were, one of them was an Iranian boy, and he had to move from the place that he lived to live in a city with his mom, his stepfather, and his stepbrother. And he was just so terrified that people would find out that he was gay, because he really did not know how to acknowledge it himself. He knew that he was gay, but he was just so afraid, because all he knew of gay life was what the media put out of men, and you know, of them dying of AIDS. So pretty much it seems as though like he doesn't want to be judged. He wants to be who he is, but he's just afraid of what everybody else would think of him, especially being in a new city of people that he really do not even know. And the back of it says Riza is an Iranian boy who has just moved to the city with his mother. He's terrified that people will find out he's gay, since all he knows of gay life are the media's images of men dying of AIDS. Judy is an aspiring fashion designer who worships her uncle Stephen, a gay man with AIDS, who devotes his time to members of ACT UP. Advocate for members of ACT UP. Judy has never imagined finding romance until she falls in love with Riza, I guess that's how you say the name, y'all. And they start dating. That's a girl. Wow. Art is Judy's best friend, their school's only out and proud teen. He rebels against his family by documenting the AIDS crisis through his photographs. As Riza and Art grows closer, Riza struggles to find a way out of his deception that won't work with Judy without breaking her heart and destroy the most meaningful friendship he's ever known. So this boy was pretty good and confused, because he knew he was a gay guy, and then it looks like he also gets in a relationship with a female when he know a female was not exactly what he wants. So now he wants to get out of that relationship, and I'm guessing be who he want to be, but he does not want to break her heart and lose the only friend, pretty much that best friend that he has in the city that he had to actually come to. Very, very interesting. The next one is a book that was on my TBR for January, but I did not get a chance to get to it. It's on rotation by Charlene. I'm not gonna mess up her last name, but pretty much I just love the cover of this book. And the reason why I love the cover of this book is because it is a black person on the cover of the book, and the book is written by a black author. And also with the profession that I'm in, the attire that she has on really just sends sparks through my heart, because I know how I feel about the profession that I am in. And so I really want to read this book. So it's a contemporary literature, and it has some romance in it. It's written by a black author. This book does not hover over romance. It's about her journey as a med student, a friend, a daughter, and a sibling, and maybe a girlfriend. So on the back of it, it says, a Ghanaian American, Angela has checked off all the boxes for a perfect immigrant daughter. Enrolled in elite medical school, snag a suitable lawyer, doctor, engineer, boyfriend. Surround herself with gaggles of successful and old and loyal friends. But then it all quickly falls apart. She bums the most important exam of her career. Her boyfriend dumps her and her best friend pulls out. And her parents, whose approval seems to hinge on how closely she follows the path they choose for her, are at least proud, are a lot less proud of her daughter than they were when things were going according to plan. It's a quarter life crisis of epic proportions. So I want to say, like, this one kind of reminds me of, like, if you like Grey's Anatomy. Like I said, I haven't really gotten into this book. I did start this book and I got to page 7, but just by reading the back of it again, I wonder if it kind of like will mimic the Grey's Anatomy. So if you guys like Grey's Anatomy, I'm pretty sure you will like On the Rotation. But On the Rotation is another book for my February TBR. Another one is The Lives of Messy Book People by Philandra Patrick. When I was in Barnes and Nobles, I walked by this book in the fiction section like 2 times. I wanted to say it said Messy Lives of Black People, and I was like, no, I don't think I want no book like that. So I just kept walking, kept looking or whatever, and that book just caught my attention again because of all the books that it has on the front cover. And plus two, I was looking for the buy one get one half off, and I was still looking for a book that had a sticker on it so that I can get 4 books that had the buy one get one half off. But anyway, something told me to just pick up the book. So I picked up the book and I noticed that it said Messy Lives of Book People. So I was like, oh my god, I think I really would like to read this book. So it's a humorous fiction, domestic fiction book, and The Messy Lives of Book People is pretty much about an author who, her name was Izzy Starling, and her housekeeper Liz Green was put in a situation where she had a life-changing last request from Izzy, and that was to actually finish her final novel. So it says, mother of 2, Liz barely scrapes by as a maid to make ends meet, often finding escapes in a good book while daydreaming of becoming a writer herself. She can't believe her luck when she lands a job housekeeping for her personal hero, mega best-selling author Izzy Starling, a mysterious and imitating recluse. The last thing Liz expected was to be the only person Izzy talks to, which leads to a tennis friendship. When Izzy passes away suddenly, Liz is astonished to learn that her dying wish was for Liz to complete her final novel. But to do so, Liz will have to step into Izzy's shoes. As Liz began to write, she uncovers secrets from the past that reveals a surprising connection between the 2 women, one that will change Liz's own story forever. So just that little part at the bottom there really caught my attention to read this book. It has me in suspense now. Like, now I want to know, how did they have that connection? Like, were they sisters? Were they, some kin in some type of way? And that part just really sent me into, like, I'm putting this one on my TBR for February. So The Messy Lives of Book People by Philandra Parks, also on my TBR for February. And y'all, this is another library book, and look how good of a shape this library book is in. That's why I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on the library. Like, go to the library. Like, they have some really nice up-to-date books. And this one is called Honey and Spice by Babalola. Y'all tell me how on point was I with her name? That's That's what I want to know. How on point was I with her with his name? Y'all don't be too harsh on me now. But anyway, y'all, this one has been on my TV, has been on my mind for a while. I will always see it in Books A Million. I will always see it in Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, anywhere I go. But at those times I was just stingy, and it was like, I just don't want to pay that much money for that book. When I didn't know if it was going to be good or not. So I updated my library card, and they actually had the book at the library. So I was so excited for that. So it's Honey and Spice. It's written by a Black author. And from what I have read so far, because I actually have started this book only on page 9. But I have started this book. And actually, from what I've read so far, and you know, just by the description of the book, is that this book is full of passion, humor, and a heart that centers around a Black British woman who has no interest in love, but she actually finds herself in a fake relationship. So that's interesting. That is so interesting. So it says, sharp-tongued and secretly soft-hearted, Kiki has just made a huge mistake. As an expert in relationship invasion and the host of the popular student radio show Brown Sugar, she's made it her mission to make sure the women of the African Caribbean Society at Whitewell College in Southern England do not fall into the mess of a situationship, players and heartbreakers. But when the queen of the unbothered kisses Malachi, the guy who she publicly denounced as the waste man of Whitewell, dang, that kind of name, you gotta be pretty rough, huh? In front of every Black villain on campus, she finds her show on the brink. They're soon embroiled in a fake relationship to try to salvage her reputation to save her future. Kiki has never surrendered her heart before, and a player like Malachi won't be the one to change that, no matter how charming he is or how electric their connection feels. But surprisingly, entertaining study sessions and intimate late night talks at old-fashioned dinners forces Kiki to look beyond her own presumptions. Is she ready to open herself up to someone deeper? Well, Kiki, look at Kiki, girl. And it says this author also wrote Love in Colors. I did look up that book. I like the front of that book, so I'll probably end up buying that book if I don't find it in the library. But it says, sweet like plantains, hot like pepper, they taste the best when together. So very, very interested in reading that book. And the last book that is on my TBR to read, which is a memoir, and I get those and I don't get those, but like if I have been, you know, like watching and following somebody and enjoy their movies and, you know, whatever for a long time, and I can get their book on a good price, I will get a memoir. So Will is on my TBR for February. It was also on my TBR for January, but I did not get to this book at all. And I am very interested in getting to this book, so I will read this book. And I don't think I really have to go into detail about this book, because we all should know Will Smith and watched a lot of his movies, and just, you know, we should all know Will Smith. So this is just his memoir about his life, about things that happened in his life. And it is also written with the help of an author called Mark Mason. And it says that Mark Mason is the author of a multi-million copy bestseller, The Suitable Art of Not Giving a Fuck Will. Yeah. So Will is a story of how one person mastered his own emotions, written in a way that can help everyone else do the same. Few of us will know the pressure of performing on the world's biggest stages for higher stakes, but we can all understand that the few that works for one stage of our journey might have to be changed if we want to make it all the way home. The combination of genuine wisdom and universal values and a life study that is entertaining and astonishing puts Will the book, like its author, in a category of itself. One of the most dynamic, global, recognized entertainment forces of our time opens up about his life in a brave and inspiring book that traces his learning curves to the place where outer success, inner happiness, and human connections are aligned, along with the way Will tells a story in full of one of the most amazing rides through the worlds of music and film that everyone has ever heard. So I love looking at a Will Smith movie. I love looking at anything dealing with Will Smith because he is so funny. So I am very interested in getting into his memoir and reading it. It has a whole, well, it's not as long as I thought. It has a whole 412 pages, so that should not be that bad. But yeah, I'm very interested in reading this book. And y'all, I just looked at the back of this book to see how many pages it is in. And this right here really makes me very interested in reading this book. Because like at the end of the book, like why would you have a picture like this? So yeah, I'm very interested in reading Will in February. So my TBR consists of Will by Will Smith and Mark Mason, Honey and Spice by Babalola, The Messy Lives of Book People by Philandra Parks. Then we have On the Rotation by Charlene, that author. Like a Love Story by this author. And that's pretty much all that's on my TBR for February, y'all. I have so many books that I have shown you guys that I gotta get read. I have my 24 books that I have to read for the month of for the year of 2024. And I'm looking at them right now and I'm just so ready to get into them. I must say, y'all, I have actually been reading pretty well because I was very excited that I actually read 3 books in the month of January. Like, I usually get through like 1 book and part of another book. So I was very, very proud of myself for getting through 3 books, almost 4. And today is January the 30th when I'm recording this video. So I still have a whole day to finish Happy Place. And if I do, then that means I've read 4 books for the month of January. And on my TBR for January, how many did I have, y'all? I had On Rotation, I think I had 5 books on my TBR for January. And if I finish reading Happy Place, I will actually have read 4 books, which one of them was not on my TBR for January, but we ain't even gonna talk about it, honey, because that's one thing that we ain't gonna do is talk about when we can't read only for the weekend. We gonna cut that. But guys, yeah, I am very proud of myself because of the number of books that I've actually finished in 1 month, and from there is just growth. And I'm excited because I did actually go and renew my library book, and that way I can actually go to the library, take you guys along with me, pick out some of the books that are old, some of the books that are new, and take them home for free and read them and like renew them as much as I want to until I actually get those books read. So my TBR for February consists of the books that I just showed you guys, and I am so excited to read every last one of them. As you can see, some of them I've actually started reading little bits and pieces of the book. And I do like to read more than one book at one time. I have my Kindle, but it's just something about a actual book for me, y'all. And I would like to start reading my Kindle more. I would like to start reading my Kindle more, especially at night. And like, even if I read the exact same book that I'm reading in a physical copy, but only just reading it at night on my Kindle, that will be a good time for me to get some use out of my Kindle. And I have this little Kindle paperwhite, but my mind is so set on the Kindle Scribe, y'all. So how many of y'all have a Kindle Scribe? Like, what do y'all feel about, or how do y'all feel about your Kindle Scribe? Do you think it is a good investment to invest in as far as being a book person? I just love the way it is a Kindle and it is a notebook, because I can actually, like, once I get through reading or during the time that I'm reading, I can write notes on it about how I feel about the book so far, and like what I would like to say to you guys about the book once I am talking to you guys. So that really draws my attention to the Kindle Scribe. So y'all let me know, how many of y'all have that book, that Scribe, and what do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like it's a good investment? So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, I record videos. I post them all about books on Wednesdays and Sundays by 7 p.m. Next vlog, I will see you guys again so that we can talk all about books. Bye guys.
You don't care what you're doing to me. I've been down in the ruins so deep. All the games that you played, all the love you forsaken, you let it slip away. Oh, 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 oh. You don't care what you're doing